Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
This world is changing more and more every day, and we've decided to change right along with it. My name is Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the president of Trajectory TV Network. At Trajectory, our vision is to provide a comfortable, creative platform for top content creators and storytellers from around the globe. We're also dedicated to providing this world with content that is healing, educational, empowering, exciting, and above all else, entertaining and transparent. So right now, I invite all of you who believe yourselves to be global game changers to use the link found here and simply take a chance. Schedule a virtual chat where you'll have the opportunity to share your vision for your very own global television show with me, the network president. So use that link, and together, let's begin changing and healing this world, one story at a time. And remember, whether you have years of experience in front of the camera or zero experience, it doesn't matter. What matters the most is your desire to share great content through television and a willingness to share it with passion and with purpose. You might ask, how do I know if I've fallen in love with my purpose and my purpose has fallen in love with me? It's easy when you've lost your voice because you just can't stop talking about it. I'll see you soon.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. You walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Ooh, and I didn't even warm my voice up. Hey, I heard that. Listen, welcome. It's the Thursday edition, y'all, of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Laurie. Wow. First of all, before we get all into, what we're here for, I just want to take a moment and just send some light, some love, some healing, a prayer or two to the families of the Washington disaster. I'm speaking of the American airline crash with the Black Hawk helicopter. It wasn't as if this week, there's so much going on, you all. There's so much going on. This is when we come together, in spirit, and we just support each other through all of this. Things will get better. They always have, and they always will. We just have to hold on just a little bit longer. So prayers of healing, and it's just my condolences to all the people affected by this horrible disaster. So there we go. Listen, that's the bell of purpose. It's here on purpose, and I ring it throughout the broadcast. You guessed it, with purpose and on purpose, because it's not a show, a prop, it's not a gimmick. I prefer to it. I like to think of it as a reminder, an opportunity that the truth, just like that bell, well, it has a ring to it. Make sure that your mindset and everything is due north. Set everything due north. You hear it? That's why I wear this compass necklace, and I have a compass right over there to remind myself due north is the only direction that serves us. Okay. Also, welcome my sidekick, Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, to the show. She's my version of Ed McMahon. Been here all 9 years. I love her. Come on in, you guys. We got a big day ahead of us. Dr. Laurie Davis is here today. Before we get her in here, though, I want to invite you, if you're in or around the Boston, Massachusetts area, early part of March, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I'll be there the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd to keynote at the PitCon Conference and Exposition. That is right now almost 7,000 chemists who will be there, and I'll be speaking on the ripple effect. It's at the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center, and if you're in the area, want to catch a cup of coffee or just say hello, I'd love to see you. So there you go with that. And also, last night, we had part 4 of my webinar series. It was all about the magic of manifesting last night, and it was amazing. I don't know, about 60-some people showed up. We had a great time. And here is the link for next Wednesday. If you want to come, it's 7 o'clock. Scan that code right now and register. Get your free seat. We'll see you there. You'll find this QR code, or flow code rather, pinned to the top of all of my social pages. Okay, so there's that. So who is she? Who is this woman that's here today? She's a Canadian. I believe she's in the Alberta area. Laurie Davis, Dr. Laurie Davis. She is a seasoned entrepreneur. She's developed well over 100 workshops that were created. Workshops to create a 1-year mentoring process for anyone who wants to learn more about becoming a professional entrepreneur. Oh, okay. She's been in business in one form or another, she says, for over 60 years, and she sidestepped her business goals in order to become an educator in the public school system, where she spent about 15 years, only to eventually resign and get back into business, which clearly is her first love. She's also, Miss Laurie, an experienced broadcaster and has plenty of time on the air. She's virtually delivered many of her 600 workshops, and she's accumulated over 50,000 hours of experience working remotely. Okay, well, there you go. She's on her way in. She's got a book that we're going to talk about and just see what's going on with her. So listen, she's never been here, so you know what we do at this point. Put some hearts on the screen, won't you? That's our virtual way of saying welcome. Here she comes, Dr. Laurie Davis, coming down the hall right now. Well, hello, Miss Laurie. What do you want me to call you today? Dr. Laurie, Miss Laurie, Dr. Davis, Dr. Laurie Davis.
How about Laurie? Lauren?
Okay, good. Let's do that today. How you been?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really privileged and honored to be here.
Yeah, you look just like I
I can just see you in the front of the classroom. Talk
Oh
about
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, before we get all into that, what I like to do, first of all, good morning, you all. Come on in. I see you. You guys are slow on the draw today. We're going to try to hit our record. Somebody get me the number from a week ago today. Slow rolling, 28. Come on in. We want to get up to at least 800, 900 today. Sherry McQueen, good to see your face. I'm so happy you're back. Good morning, beautiful souls, Sherry says. And she said, oh, hi, Dr. Lauren. Mike Casanova, good morning to you. Robert Brooker and the rest of the team, come on in. We'll get to you too. 88, come on, let's go. So, Dr. Laurie, I do a little thing where I dip out for about 60 seconds and I allow the guests to just take the stage and really just, speak for 60 seconds on your passion and what it is you woke up with on your heart today. What you wake up wanting to share with the world. And then that's what I'll pick up when I come back in to get us started down the road of this interview. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, all you, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. And just so happy to be here on the show today with Lauren. And on my heart today is just a lot of prayers for all of the bad things that are all going on around us. But, peace begins with us. So that's my message today. Peace begins with us.
You caught me. I'm doing this metabolic balance diet.
I see that.
Yes. And I can't say because tomorrow's the weigh-in day, but I kind of cheated and looked this morning, but I won't announce it. But I do show what I eat. Here's my breakfast today, you guys. Mango, cucumbers, goat cheese, and a rye cracker. And because I had messed up, I was like, I can't get up and go to the gym. I don't have any energy. And like my coach, Jane, she said, are you getting your oils in? Because that was supposed to start Monday. 3 teaspoons of oil a day added in. I forgot all about that. She goes, that's why you have no energy. She's so good. She went right to it. And so I sprinkled a little lemon olive oil on top of everything except the mango. And I'll do that. I'll get my oil in. And I bet you tomorrow I'll feel better and I'll tell you all about it. So, Laurie.
Yes.
What was it you dreamed of being when you were finishing, say high school, back at the beginning of life, when you're moving out to make your mark? What do you think you'd be doing now?
Wow. Well, my sister and I, when we were little, we would fight over whether we were going to play school or we were going to play office. So when we played school, I was the teacher and she was the student. And when we played office, she was the boss and I was the secretary.
Mm-hmm.
So I think teaching, I did think about going to interior design, but, my family didn't really have the means to do that and didn't really want me away because at that time you had to go to Toronto, and I was just young finishing up. So I guess teaching, communicating, speaking, all the things that I've actually accomplished.
Did your sister end up being the boss?
She became an executive assistant to a very top end person right away, right out of her schooling. Wow. And worked for 10 years as a high end administrative assistant. Yes.
Okay. So she was in the office.
Oh, now, yes.
When you were teaching, what was the age group of the students?
My first assignment was elementary school in a 100% Black community in Nova Scotia, Canada. And I was there for 6 years. It was the most amazing experience. And that got me off the ground, elementary. And I did 1 year of high school.
Mm-hmm. And then you started going, what is this rash? All of a sudden, I got an itch.
Oh gee.
It's not a rash. It's appalling.
Yes.
And what happened?
Then what happened?
Yes.
Well, 14 years later, I decided to do my own thing. That was 40 years ago. I retired in 1984. So I've been self-employed entrepreneur for the last 40 years. The reason we say 60 is because I had my first business when I was 12.
You did?
Mine
when I was 10.
Pardon?
I had my first business when I was 10.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I was a Shackley distributor.
Oh,
they didn't even know I was a kid. I sent it in and paid my allowance.
Mm-hmm.
And I sold all those like vanilla extract and all these different,
Yes, yes.
and it then turned into a bake sale business.
Oh, wow.
Because the women were asking, what did you put in these? What did da
Yeah,
da da?
yeah.
Yes, yes. So what was your business when you were 12?
Well, my dad had gotten that, golden handshake in a big company, and he was out of work. And I could tell that my family was really struggling to put food on the table and so on. He wasn't out of work for very long, but during that time, I went to my dad and I said, I could help. And he said, How could you help? I said, Well, I have already babysat other people's kids. So he helped me make some homemade flyers, Lauren, out of construction paper, and we put one on every mailbox on my street, okay, for babysitting, housekeeping, walking the dog, mowing the grass. And pretty soon I was bringing home enough money to buy the groceries every week.
Wow.
And then once he got back to work, I just continued because I was responsible and I was the oldest in my family. So, we did all that back then, took care of the other kids.
Yes.
Right.
So what did they call it back then? Because I don't remember when I was little hearing the word entrepreneur.
No.
Right.
No.
So what was it? Because you've been working with entrepreneurs, it says, for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What did you call it? And how did you do it?
Self-employed. That was a
Okay.
famous word. Self-employed, business owner. Well, sometimes you get called jack of all trades and master of none.
None, yes. Mhm.
People would say to you, "What are you doing now?" Well, I'm doing what I always do, really.
So give us a little, for those of you who are born way after us, go ahead and take them back, Laurie. The office or the mindset of an entrepreneur, let's say in the 80s, was different than today. No internet yet to speak of or anything.
Oh, no.
And so how different is it for you? How did you keep your finger on the pulse to help people as business owners or whatever, as it evolved into entrepreneurship over the years? Were you going back and taking classes? How did you stay up on it?
Well, I think to answer that, entrepreneurs aren't the only people that I work with. And it started out, I did corporate training and sales training, and I'd be involved with other corporations. So I wasn't really independent myself. I was involved in some direct selling companies where I learned a lot. And then I realized, wow, there's pieces missing in the way that they train. And I always was looking for what's not happening with people, they're like the entrepreneurial program, the 100 workshops that we developed for that. There's nothing out there really that actually gives you the meats and nuts and bolts of what you're going to be going through if you decide to be an entrepreneur. And I think if you have a book, you're an entrepreneur because that book needs to sell.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, even our shows, or your show, it's all about that.
It is.
So there's pieces that are missing for others. So I thought, well, I'm seasoned. I've done a lot of things wrong, but I've also done a lot of things right. And I didn't always go with the flow of what people thought you had to do to be successful.
There it is.
Okay. So I'm like a hybrid, because I'm 75, so I'm old school. There's a big part of me that's old school.
Yes.
And then there's a part of me I've worked virtually since 2002.
So, Laurie, let's go here. Let's shift over to this part. I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised, right before we came in here, and I was asking you for links to social, and you're like, I don't really even use it. And you don't. I know I saw 52 people on one. And I said, well, how do you do this? And you said word of mouth, which I believe in. It's true. I don't do ads. I don't pay for ads or anything. I rely on word of mouth. And you really have to be patient when you're relying on word of mouth. And you have to be consistent. Because if you don't give people something they remember, they don't have anything to repeat. Therefore, they cannot be talking about you or your business or service. Talk about how you build those kinds of relationships that keep you liquid and fluid in your business without paying a lot for advertising or even having a bunch of websites and things like that. Talk about how you do that.
Well, of course, I'm very open to all of that, and I, as soon as a website was available, I was probably one of the first people to have one. But the amount of business that came from that for me wasn't really significant.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I spend time with people on the front end, building that relationship, because no one's going to refer you if they've had a bad experience or you didn't do what you said you were going to do, like make a call. I'm going to call you tomorrow at 3 and you don't make that call. So having that integrity and that consistency, and I still have clients that I had 20 years ago, 25 years ago, still referring people to me because of the outcomes that they enjoyed while being with me or in my space.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And now I'm into like the third generation of clients. Client worked with them, then their adult children, and now their grandchildren. So it's
Wow.
like 3 generations now for me.
Wow. And what is it they come to you? Let's use that, the 3 generation thing. Why why did the grandparents send the kids? So go to Dr. Laurie for.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, it's usually my focus was self-worth, the repair and restoration of one's self-worth, because I believe that, I don't believe it, I know it. That's the bottom for everything. But you know how people say, well, you're supposed to love yourself. Okay, that sounds good. But how do you do that? I don't remember anybody teaching me how to love me. I remember people telling me what was wrong with me and why my world was not the perfect place. But that was because I realized, Lauren, most people are walking around feeling like there's something wrong with them. People lack confidence. They don't want to take risks and try new things.
Yes.
And poor communication skills. So I've developed, actually, I have now over 1,000 workshops that focus just on those 3 things. That's my work.
1,000?
Yes.
Wow. How do you keep up with all those?
Well, now I'm converting them all to books. So because I want those things out there if, once I leave.
Yeah.
I don't want everything to die with me, right?
Exactly.
Right. So that'll be my legacy. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what your background is, how much money you have, how much education you have. We all are walking around feeling like there's something wrong with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what gets focused. And when we've had trauma and negative childhood experiences, that all steals our self-worth, our sense of value. Lauren, by the time we're 3, we've already made decisions about whether or not we have any value. In the family, in the community, that's what, yes. So I have products, programs, and services for adults, youth, and young children. And I've crossed all cultural barriers. Asia, our Indigenous community, I've done tons of work there. Our Black community, our gay community, whatever the community is,
wow.
I've been there.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
My mouth is agape because I'm like, it's just, I'm trying to, it's hard to visualize how you could squeeze so much work into, it's a considerable amount of years that you've been doing it, but 1,000 workshops and all, it's just amazing. Laurie, what is it that drives you? Do you flourish and is it the light, seeing the light come on in the minds of people when you help them see what's possible? I know that's what I love, but I'm really interested in what is that thing that keeps you going?
Well, for me, Lauren, for years I said, I can help you do this. I can teach you that. I can support you with this. No, I was wrong. We can't help anybody. We can't teach anybody anything that they're not willing to learn. So what I did was I became the how-to person. So I'm going to spend time with you and you're in my workshops so you become your own best friend, your own best therapist, your own best mentor, because we have all of what we need inside of us when we get here. We all come here perfectly.
Yes.
Okay. It's just our situations that are not perfect. And so we usually react to things through the trauma from the past. So when people, and that's why people, I've had a consistent flow of clients and so on, because that's what empowerment really is. There's another overused word in my mind. And what drives me is if I just can show somebody one little thing that they can do to get out of that path and over to this path, that's what keeps me going. One person at a time, one family at a time, one community at a time.
I want to bring up a topic that gets in the way of a lot of us, myself included, wherein those of us who are in business for ourselves, stitching together the quilt of consistency. So that, because I said we have to be patient, but we must be consistent. And a lot of people struggle with being able to ascertain, should I stay or should I go? I'm not making enough money. I don't know how to convert. And then add to that, I call them poachers. People, they feed on people. You're their prey. Well, they sell a boatload of crap that doesn't change anything. Because a lot of people, once you get desperate, you make desperate moves. So can you kind of shed a little light on what you do to help people hold on until because, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go get a job. I'm going to have to give this up. And they don't know how to put it on pause and do this or do something while they're doing this. They just abandon ship and then they regret it in many cases for the rest of their lives. So how do you work with people to keep them motivated, invested? Because we do hear that most small businesses fail within the first 5 years. I don't know if that's still true, but so how do you get past that? I'm still miffed at how I'm still here because I've Helen Kellered my way. Really, that's what I refer to. I really have.
Yeah.
So talk about that. I'm sure you see a lot. So share some wisdom on that for us, if you could.
Well, the thing is, I just started working with a client yesterday in my 100 Shades of Entrepreneurship because he was former military, very controlled environment, and has retired and now wants to go into business. But what most people don't understand is we are the business. So I have been my greatest investment. The business is in here. It's not out there. The money's in here. Money's not out there. It's in here. So the more work I do on me, I've spent, Lauren, I have spent over $1 million on myself, just investing in me, learning from people that knew more than I did, traveling to where I needed to go to get the information I needed way back in the day. But the more work I do on myself, the more successful I will become. And I have that strength and tenacity to hang on. You see, a lot of people give up on us. A lot of people gave up on me when things weren't going well. They were all around me when everything was hunky-dory. Okay. And then the minute I had to, take a step back. So, but the thing is, I've never given up on me. And that is the key.
That is the key. That is the key. Wow. That was powerful right then and there. When you said the money's in here, that spoke to my heart. That spoke to my heart. That I've never heard that. I've never heard that. But the minute you said it, it instantly had a ring of truth to it. How do you get people to tap into that to the point where they believe it? Because you know how it is. We can hear stuff and go, oh, and there's no connection. So okay, let me give you an example. Well, I've had a series of coaches over the years because I believe in keeping one. If I'm going to coach people, then I need somebody coaching me. I don't ever want to not be the teacher and the student. I want to be both at all times. And I had a systems coach that opened my world up saying, Lauren, you don't run your own business. Systems run your business and you run the systems. So that really helped me getting that piece together. But then I also had a coach who worked with me on my business mindset, okay, establishing price and things like that. And I remember when I was doing my first in-person masterminds, and he said, this is the amount you should charge for virtual, and here's the amount for in person. Each number he gave me, I automatically took $200 off and wrote down a different number. I was like, why did I just do that? And he said to me, Lauren, because you, like so many others, you want to charge what you feel you can afford. What do you say to that? And what is that in our mindset that makes us think it's never going to happen? Or you know what I mean? So many people cannot see how to convert. But then it seems like people who aren't principled, who aren't in alignment, who are selling things that people never getting, it seems like they're successful. They're selling it hand over fist.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I'm serious. I deal with that. I see that. I get people to come to me. I just came out of a $120,000 coaching program and I didn't get anything. And here I am in your little program and I got all my investment back in the first week. How are people selling things at enormous prices and getting away with people not getting any value? Who is at fault? Us, them, both?
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's my take on this, because this really is a hot topic for me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, a coach is someone who tells you what you think you need, what you do, how to do it. Maybe I'm not a coach. I never have been a coach. I create a space where people are actually, I call it experiential learning. So that means they come up with their own answers because I know what kinds of questions to ask. Okay. So I facilitate that process. As far as charging, it's not about the money, it's about the value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we usually, that again stems back down to self-worth. What am I worth? What is my time worth? What do I deserve? So sometimes I don't charge at all.
Right.
Sometimes I charge the big bucks, depending on what the deal is. Right. And I go with my guts on that. I have consistent prices for my workshops because they all come with a workbook and everybody pays the same, for that process. So, but when I began my quest, the self-worth thing, Lauren, I couldn't find a paper that had ever been written about it. I couldn't find a book that had ever been written about it because nobody really knew what it was. As a young teacher in a classroom back in the 70s, the word self-esteem, self-worth, that wasn't even in our vocabulary. We didn't know if a kid came in one day all of a sudden they've shut down. We didn't realize that we had to work on their self-worth. That's the key right there. And that's why you can have people come from very difficult backgrounds, like you, like me, and make it because there's a piece of us in there that knows we deserve it and we're worth it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that comes along with the money. The money is a byproduct of the work. So that consistency, I get up every day, I get dressed every day. My commute is down a set of stairs to my studio and my office. The best thing I have that ever kept me consistent was my dog, because he has to go out.
Yes.
Certain times of the day, and he has to be fed.
No ifs,
right?
But
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I answered your question, but those are just some thoughts around that.
Definitely.
I have one more thing to say about that.
Go ahead.
Credibility comes with what we know. What we know is what we've experienced, and that alone is our credibility. So I think it does a lot of damage to our industry when we've got somebody who's taken a $49 weekend course on how to be a life coach and they're 25 and now they're out there telling you how to live your life. I'm sorry.
I second that emotion. Now,
Okay.
now a lot of people, it's like we talked about. Okay, Let's talk about how you attract your ideal client. Remember that whole thing about find your avatar. Da 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 da. She's 45 to 55 years old. She has this much. Oh, da da da. And between that and what they've gotten with people as far as social media and posts this time, I don't do any of that. It just never resonated. But I have been kind of miffed over the years about why does it seem like I'm flypaper for people with no money? Why does it seem like the people I fall in love with their passion, their desire, and I just want to help. And for a while there, Laurie, it was like all I was doing was giving away the farm.
Yes, I know. I've been there.
You know what I mean? And then, so sometimes it is an issue. It is a challenge to attract the people that are at the level of where they can pay what you are worth. Any tips on how to get to that ideal client that lives in that space, that has that kind of investment available?
Okay. My youngest client has been 6. My eldest client has been 93. And as I shared earlier, all different cultures, all different backgrounds. So what that does, because I work usually with people call me when they're in crises, sometimes they call you when it's too late. But I've kind of balanced that by, okay, looking at the client who can afford me, or who I think has the money to pay me. It's not about affording me. It's just putting value on what it is they need at that time.
Yes.
I've taken tens of thousands of dollars from people. I've taken food stamps from people who didn't have money, because there was value attached. And I think when you come to someone like you or someone like me, they have to have some skin in the game.
Yes.
And, okay.
It's a disservice if they don't. You do them a disservice. I agree.
Exactly. Because there's a difference between enabling and supporting. So when I enable people, they maintain the bad behaviors. When I support them, they have to make some different decision.
Correct.
Right. So that's what a mentor can do, is that, show you the shortcuts, but you need to make different decisions. So getting back to, so depending, I'll take payment plans. I've taken payment plans. You want to take the 100 Shades of Entrepreneurship, it's $5,000. You want to pay me $500 a month or $400 a month and have a subscription. I've always sliced and diced the money.
Yes.
That the client is comfortable because they need what we have.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. That's exactly how I have mine set up, because I want it should be joyful. If it's going to add more stress and anxiety, and you've bitten off too much and you start resenting, then you're going to get more of what you were bitching about when you came in the door. But I also have an obligation. I tell people, now listen, I respect what you've gone through to get here, but don't bring those smoke-filled clothes from where you came out of that burning building and got burned up in here. I don't want my stuff smelling like soot.
Right.
So, and that's what I tell them, because it's also to trick their mindset into a fresh start. You see, a lot of people like to drag stuff behind them, right? So, I'm so grateful to hear you say, because I'm gonna be honest with you, until you just validated that, I oftentimes feel like what's wrong with you, Dr. Lauren? You're so stupid to keep letting people get over on you like this. But as soon as I start thinking like that, the person that was paying me $15 a month, all of a sudden something changes. And now I still have a client now that's $18 a month. Because that was our covenant. That was our agreement. I send the same $18 invoice and she sends back $200 every month. She's actually coming here in a week to work with me one-on-one for a weekend for something that she's building. And I love that, because I always say this, even on my network, if you go to the regular channels on the network, it's like $359 a month, right? I cut the 59 off on Trajectory, and it's just 300. And people say, why do you do that? Because when I lessen the price, it's less the price because your story and what we're doing is priceless. And now the thing to focus on is the value. I want people to say, when we get that dollar sign out of the way, there's a red carpet of value in front of us. So talk about value. Do you think people really honor or understand what the definition of true value is? I think a lot of people miss that. What say you?
Absolutely correct, because the first thing that we do is we do not know how to place value on ourselves. It starts there. And that's my whole work. I mean, that's what I had to do from scratch because it wasn't out there. You know, you get a speaker on a stage. You know, the retention rate of a speaker on a stage to an audience is 2%. They remember 2%. So I got off the stage. I was on the stage with all those big boys. You name them. I know them. But I got off the stage because I realized that I wasn't really providing much value. They might have paid me tens of thousands of dollars, but I'd have people running up to me afterwards crying and saying, that hit me, you know, that hurt me, that connected with that. And I had nothing to offer them. So I got off the stage, and that's when I went to work and created my systems. Okay. So the systems come in, and when somebody has an hour and they walk away feeling valuable and having experienced value, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, if you were sexually assaulted as a child, you don't have to carry that because the person that assaulted you was the dysfunctional person. It wasn't you.
Yes.
See? So we learn very young not to trust, not to place value on ourselves because the world can be very cruel and harsh. But everybody has tremendous value. And once we get them to see that, then they can shift and change. You know, there's so much damage that's been done in terms of, you know, well, if you want to be successful, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
No. First of all, what does success look like for you? Maybe it's a little house on the corner of the street with a tiny garden out back and you've got a car, and that might be success for you. See? So we've really done a lot of damage. There's been a lot of damage done in our industry around empowering people. So I'm not that. I'm all about prevention, not intervention. You know, I do a lot of intervention. During COVID, I took 4 and 5 suicide calls a week. Wow. People needing me to talk them down because I can do that. I know how to do that. But value is here. We have everything. We came with everything we needed.
Yes. Yes. I'm a firm believer in that. I remember when I stumbled, because, you know, everything is purposeful.
Everybody does.
Well, no, I stumbled across some information about the greatest odds known to man. And I was like 400 and some quadrillion, the odds of actually making it to being born. And it was the greatest odds known to man were being born. And I said, well, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I beat the greatest odds known to man before I formed a thought or spoke a word? So then that makes me think that, well, all that's left is to create some odds for someone else to reach. And that's how I've always looked at it, no matter, even when I was that kid in foster care and they said, that isn't, why do you talk like that? That doesn't happen to kids like us. That's what other kids were telling me. I said, well, it may not be what happens to kids like you, but I'm the kid that can do it all. You'll see. And I believed it. I really, really believed it.
Yes.
So I want to go into, let's talk about your show. I think it's amazing. Tell everybody what you do, how often you do it, and why you do it with this show of yours.
Well, I've been broadcasting. My first broadcast was on a little radio show in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I was on a golf show, actually, for 3 minutes. And I thought, wow, that was fun. And it went from there. That was 1998. So it went from there, mainstream radio, then, you know, internet radio. But my show that I have now is I feature a lot of different people. We talk about a lot of different things, mostly around what we're discussing today. And I broadcast 3-4 times a week in my own show. And then once a week, I do a show called The Press Box with former NHLer Doug Smith. He and I do a show together. And we talk about, he's a retired, former hockey player.
Mhm.
And he wanted to do a show, but he didn't know much about that. So he asked me if I would co-host with him to teach him the ropes. I believe that right now, podcasting has become very important. I even have a workshop on that, Powerhouse Podcasting.
I bet you
What,
do.
what you need to do to be a successful podcaster
There
or
you
be on the
go.
air. And it's, my job is just to keep that message going out there around self-worth. And it always comes up with my guests because I can see where they don't have much.
Mm.
I can walk into a room right now, 300 people, and I can handpick the people who've been sexually assaulted. That's how fine-tuned my instincts are now
Wow.
after all these years, right? So you can have tons of confidence, but you may not have any self-worth.
So,
Mhm.
how do you open the door? Okay, use me. You can use me
Okay.
as an
All right.
example.
Okay.
To say, well, Dr. Lauren, here's what I am feeling is the situation with you and your self-worth. How do you broach the subject? Because so
Okay.
many of us, I try to not take things personally by keeping books like this handy. I keep things within reach to remind me of the things that I struggle, like, taking things personally, making assumptions, all of that and all of that. So how would you do it so that I wouldn't go, what you talking about, Willis? You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well,
How
I'd
does
say,
that work?
Lauren, if you could change one thing about your life right now, what would it be?
What would, if I could change one thing about my life? I would change the thing that, that animal on Dr. Doolittle, that llama that had heads going
Yep.
both push me, pull me.
Yep.
That's how I feel. Because so many wonderful things manifest in my space, but it still feels many times because my business keeps growing. It still feels almost like I'm paycheck to paycheck, but people assume a lot. They think, because, I keep making more and more, but it's costing more and more to maintain it. So I always have to struggle with, am I going to wake up and this was all a dream?
Mhm.
Am
So
I
what do
always
you-
going to be the close but no cigar kind of guy?
Okay.
Because that's what it
So-
feels like to me. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Dr. Laurie.
no, I understand that. Okay. So my next question would be, what are you doing right now to address that?
Okay. I try to always figure out, well, what I know what I've done, and I know I do my best with it, and I'm patient, but I'm still, I'm always like, I make jokes about it. Like I used to say on the show, no words with more than 6 syllables, public school, and I'd ring the bell. And I stopped doing that because I realized, even though, I have the honorary doctorate, which was very hard for me, the regalia sat in the dining room in the box for a week. I couldn't walk past it. I had to go outside and walk around the house, come in the slider, because I didn't feel worthy of it. And I don't like the term imposter syndrome because that makes it seem like I'm the imposter, but it's not me completely.
Yeah. Mhm. So you see how just by asking a couple of questions, when you ask the question, how do you broach that? Well, I start with those 2 questions. So then my next move would be to you, because I'm see all the information that I got from asking those 2 questions. What would you change? What are you doing now to take care of that? How's that working for you? That's a Dr. Phil move. And then I just say, if I could show you a way to really clean that up for you, would you be open to hearing more about it?
Yeah.
Because I could do that with you. See, because everything you talked about was a self-worth issue.
See, and we don't think it's that.
No, because nobody's ever said that to us. Nobody's ever said, I don't care that you've got $10 billion. You don't have any self-worth because you're arrogant, You don't care about people. You name drop. You can't receive a compliment. You've got a limp handshake. You can't look me in the eye. These are all, it's not really rocket science, Lauren, but we're not aware of it because no one has ever brought it to our attention.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is
then,
it? Go ahead.
oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
then
No,
I
no.
show people how that happened. And now that's okay. That was then, this is now.
Dr. Lloyd, is it the kind of thing where once a person works with you and you give them the tools, or you know, you fling the curtains open,
Mm-hmm.
maintaining it? It would seem
Oh,
to me
no
like it
problem.
would be easy at first, or maybe all along, for a person to slip back into their old
Mm-mm.
mindset. Is it, you know what I mean? Is it permanent, like super glue, or
Yes.
are there things one must do to maintain it?
No, you don't have to maintain it because you've made a decision and you're going to stick to your own decisions. You're not going to stick to other people's decisions that they make for you, but you will stick to your own decisions.
Wow. Do you ever get pushback?
Oh, sure. The first community that gave me the pushback was the psychology community, because I had people who were going to counseling coming to see me and then dropping their counselor. I had one woman who'd been in therapy for 25 years and never made a change. So yeah, there was the pushback right there.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, because I didn't have a degree in psychology. But
Right.
I earned an honorary doctorate too in 2023 for humanitarianism, maybe the same as yours.
Yes.
And you know what? I embraced that because I knew I'd earned it.
Yes.
I had given up decades of my life to support other people. So I embraced it.
Yes. Same here. Same
Big
here.
time.
And you know, it's so interesting because, you know, my husband is a psychotherapist. He's a PhD.
Okay.
Right. And do you know, when we got engaged, he had colleagues that actually broke up with him because of the work I do.
Oh, wow.
Because they were like, they're the ones that caused that. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, literally people he had 30 years with.
Yeah. I know.
What
Crazy,
in the world? I was like, okay, well, I thought I
Yeah.
had some issues, girl. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Right. Let's get into the book. We had a few minutes left. I want to tell them about the book. Who's it for? Here it is up on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a mock of our title page. That's our mock-up artwork.
So is that what the cover looks like?
Yes, it'll look pretty close to that.
Okay. Talk about 21 days to happiness, joy, and inner peace. That's a big promise.
Oh, yeah, but it is. And I tested it for 20 years, so I guess I know.
21 days.
Yes, 21 days. 21 days. Regardless of what your situation is, we deal with, there's addictions in there, loneliness, sadness, forgiveness, love, gratitude, and you work in the journal. It's a great read, but it's a working document. So when you open it up, there's day one. This is what we're going to do today. We're going to look for the good. We're going to look for the good in everything. And here's the message. And here's the goal for today. And here's your activities. And it's like the book is talking to you. Happiness, joy, and inner peace are talking to you. Good evening. Good morning. How was your night? Did you get to make your list of all your things today? Blah, blah, blah. It's like a workshop in a book.
Is it available now or is it coming?
Yeah, it goes to print on Monday.
So we will be able to put our hot little hands on it as soon as.
Oh, anytime. It's flying off the shelf. I don't even have it here yet.
So we can pre-order.
You can pre-order by using my email, which I've got up on the screen there.
Yes. Hold on.
Just email me.
Your email. What's this?
Yeah, not that one.
What's that one?
That's my channel that I work with, the Disability Channel. That's who my network is.
Okay, so that's where we watch the show?
Yes.
Okay, so at first I'm putting it in the comment section, you guys, because we're almost out of here.
Yeah.
Hi, Latisse. Good to see you. There is Laurie's email. And
no,
so
you've got the website.
I put that in now and put it up on the screen.
Okay.
It's in the chat for them. They can just click on it now. That's the email. It's in the chat. And here is the where is it?
Oh, there you go.
There's the
Email
email.
me if you'd like to have an autographed copy. It's 8.5 by 11, hardcover, beautiful. It's a working document, and it's $39.95 plus shipping. So
Okay.
just email me and I'll get back to them.
Okay. So I just send you and say, I want the book, Dr. Laurie, and you'll tell me what to do next.
I will.
Okay. Well, my email is coming here in the next few minutes because I want it. I
Okay.
want it. It's a brand new year. Excuse me. And you guys, listen. I'm telling you, you don't ever hear me say, oh, go buy this. I didn't even tell you about to do that with this book, but a lot of you did because you see that it is working. I don't need to have the social proof for this. I'll tell you why. Because when I asked what I asked to Laurie about my own situation and the way she fired back at me, I knew just by what I was feeling internally that she was spot on, that you were spot on. And I want to begin the process of earning my power and learning what to do with it. I think it's a twofold process. And I just can sense that I just can feel it. There's a ring of truth in everything that comes out of your mouth. And I'm serious. And you're similar. When you told me, I was sitting here going, well, should I admit that this is an honorary doctorate in front of her? Because she probably got hers from Harvard or something. And then you said, no, I have the same thing. And I'm like, slam the front door shut. Who would, you see? That's what I'm saying. There it is, that self-worth. And so I just love it. Listen, man. And I'm going to tell you, go backstage. We're going to put together a 90-minute television special so we can go deeper. I'm going to get the book. We're going to do a 90-minute television special. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. There it is. So, yay. Listen, Dr. Laurie, you guys get over it. There it is. The Laurie Davis Show at gmail.com. Go over and get your book started. On its way to you. You will not be sorry. This is the year of Jubilee. If you want everything you could have dreamed and more, then do something that proves that you really, really want it. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Okay? Dr. Laurie, do you have a final thought, your Jerry Springer moment that you want to leave the folks with today?
Just make it the most amazing day. Just put yourself in a bubble for one day, not worry about anything outside of that. Don't watch the news. Don't pay attention. Just pay attention to you for just one day.
One day leads to the next day. There you go. I love it. Stay backstage if you can for just a moment. And we'll get something on the books. And you all, listen, tomorrow, Friday, I promise, God willing, to meet you over on the front porch so together we can explore another illuminated conversation. Now, as always, don't you dare let Dr. Lauren's screen door slam on your way out of here. And remember, I love you. I really do. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. See you tomorrow. Make it the best day. I love you guys. Get out there and change a life, starting with your own. Dr. Laurie, thank you. See you backstage. Bye, everybody.
Show me your soul.